Moving house can be ridiculously expensive. So today I'm going to show you how I'm saving £4,000 on my house move. And every penny counts when it comes to moving house. If you take all of the costs from selling and buying, my house move is actually costing £13,000. But the good thing is I'm halving these costs. I'm halving the selling costs with my ex, and I'm halving the buying costs with my current partner. But it still costs a small fortune. The majority of this money comes from the estate agent fees because they take a percentage of what your house is worth. So this current house that we are selling, we're selling it for $340,000. So that is a much larger percentage than when we will be selling our house next time, because our house is much lower. It's round about the 200 grand mark. So those costs will be significantly reduced next time we move. We'll probably only spend, we'll probably only spend around about 11,000 if we were to downsize again, which we're not sure whether we will, but if we do, it'll be about 11,000. So it's worth factoring that in when it comes to thinking about, am I going to save any money through downsizing? Because you're probably going to spend minimum of 10 grand just by moving house. If your house is worth significantly more than mine, that will cost a lot more. So just a quick update before I show you my moving house costs and how I saved 4 grand. A quick update on my YouTube channel. I finally got monetized, which I had said in my last video that I probably was monetized. They hadn't updated the official figures, so I am fully monetized now, which is amazing because I get some ad revenue from the videos that are shown on my videos. So every little helps. And an update on the moving scenario. It is all happening. If you watch one of my previous videos, I explained why we are separating the selling process from the buying process. So the buying process is speeding along nicely. All we've got left to do is for the two solicitors to talk about the results of the survey. So they've done the survey, they've got it back in. My solicitor sent it off. My solicitor is amazing. I've never had such a good solicitor. I'm over the moon about how fast they respond to absolutely everything, how efficient they are. Unfortunately, the seller's solicitor, I know they can be slow because my partner used them when he sold his last place, and they took about 6 months to get that sorted, and there was no chain there either. So I really hope the same doesn't happen here, but I don't think there's any complications. I think everything's going through very smoothly. There's nobody in the house, it's vacant. So as soon as the solicitors have done chatting, we can arrange a date and we can move straight in, which is absolutely fantastic. It's causing me a bit of stress at the moment. I'm feeling the weight of the responsibility of organizing all of this stuff. There's lots going on, but I feel like it's all in hand. It's all going really well. And as for the selling process, I thought that was going to be slower, and it is slower. My solicitor has been fantastic. So has the buyer of this house. He's also been very fast, speedy. We seem to be the fastest in the process, is what my estate agent said. But there's a chain of, I think it's 3 people or 3 organizations before that, because there's a housing organization at the start of the chain. So I don't know what's happening with that. I'll need to have a check on what's going on with that and see where we're up to, because I haven't heard anything. So I think that's slower, that's ticking along slower, but it all seems to be ticking along nicely at the moment. We have been getting rid of furniture that we no longer need, doing tip runs. I've been going to this second-hand furniture shop to see what they've got in there. At the moment, they don't have anything that we currently need. I'm looking on a Facebook Marketplace to see if I can get any deals there. But a lot of the stuff that we need to buy is big, bulky things, and it's unlikely that it's going to be available on the day that we've got the van to pick it up. And a bit more stressful because you just don't know if you build somebody's second-hand furniture, are all the screws there? I'm not very handy. If a screw is missing, I really don't know. I could probably find a missing screw eventually, but it's just nicer not to have to worry about everything not being right when you move in and you're really reliant on your furniture being correct. So we're probably just going to buy everything new because it's easier. So there will be a bit of a delay between getting the keys and moving in, because we're going to have all of this stuff delivered and built that we absolutely need before we move in, like fridge, freezers, washing machine. The shed will need to be built. The beds will need to be delivered and built. Quite a lot to do before we actually move into the house, but we're hoping we'll have it done very quickly. At the moment, there's lots of money flying around. There's money moving from this account to that account, paying for this, paying for that. I'm trying to get organized with all my spreadsheets and keep everything in the right place, but I am feeling a little bit stressed as to all this money flying around all over the place and hoping that I'm keeping a tight rein on all of the costs. So that's my update for now. So let's dive into the figures. So I thought I would just give you a quick snapshot of my property calculator spreadsheet before I show you all of my house moving costs, because things have changed slightly from the last time I showed you this. So because I have been paying off the mortgage, or me and my ex-husband have been paying off the mortgage has gone down, which is really nice because it means that my share is going up. So last month it was 165,200, and now the mortgage has gone down to 164,600, which means my share has gone up from 140,000 to 141,000, which is pretty nice because every time I'm paying off the mortgage and he's paying off the mortgage, the amount of my share goes up more than his share, which is fine because I took such a massive hit. So it's all swings and roundabouts in life, isn't it? And this is 10 grand more than 10 grand less than I thought I was going to get for the house. Then I will receive 22 grand in cash, of which I have already received 10 grand for moving costs. This will take the subtotal to 163,000, of which I'll be gaining after the house sells. Now here's how I'm saving some money with the house moving process. So originally I had solicitors' fees, which were fixed, mortgage broker fees fixed, and I budgeted £1,000 for the removal. When I used to move a house with my ex-husband a lot of the time, he had a lot of back problems and he couldn't do any of the lifting himself, so we always did a full removal and a full packing service. But this time we are doing it ourselves. My current partner is extremely strong, very fit, and so is his stepdad and his workmate. So they have agreed that they will do the move themselves. I will help with moving the boxes. I'm also very strong and fit, not as strong as them. I probably couldn't lift the very heavy furniture, but I will be helping to move all the boxes. That does not faze me at all. I have tons of energy, lots of strength, so I'm more than happy to do the complete house move. So that will save us a fortune. We will just have to hire the van, give his workmate some money, and that will reduce the cost from 1,000 to about 300, which is a massive saving. I also managed to save a lot of money on the survey. I budgeted 1,200, not knowing exactly how much the survey was going to be. I opted to pay the bank survey £100, which was very cheap. I went for the lower rate. If I'd have gone with the bank for the middle survey, it would have been around about 600 and something pounds, but I managed to find somebody else to do the survey for just £400, which I don't know why I've put 600. It's not 600, it's 500, because it's 400 plus £100. So I had budgeted 4,200 for the moving costs, and this has now gone down to 2,800. We're splitting this cost between two of us, me and my partner, so that means that my share is 1,400, which is a lot lower than 2,100. I had also decided to put away 6,500 for home improvements, and a lot of this money is going to be going on furniture, which I'm going to be showing you next. But there will be a little bit left over for unexpected things that might happen to the house, things that need fixing, things we didn't anticipate. So I'll show you my moving house list next. So I've got the moving costs in here as already planned up there. And then we've got a whole list of things that we need to buy for the house, which is pretty annoying because at the moment we have everything we need in this house. We have all the white goods, we have all the furniture, but as you might know, if you move house a lot like I have, you always end up spending a fortune on furniture, on buying and selling furniture, because it just doesn't fit, especially if your rooms are smaller, which they are. The bedrooms for all three of us are smaller. The downstairs space actually is a lot bigger. We're going to have a bigger lounge, bigger dining room, so that's going to be no problem whatsoever. The kitchen's going to be smaller and the bedrooms are going to be smaller. The bathroom's going to be bigger. So that's what happens when you move house. You do end up buying and selling a lot of furniture, and the buyer of this house that we're moving from, he's actually getting a lot of stuff thrown in that we will need to buy again that we don't get thrown in. So he's getting all of his white goods, fridge, freezer, washing machine. He's also getting a tumble dryer, which we don't have space for, and he's also getting a dishwasher, which we also don't have space for. So we're going to have to go back to manually washing dishes again, which I'm not really looking forward to. But then again, it's a more simple life and it'll probably save on the electricity costs and the gas costs. So it all swings and roundabouts in life. So let me show you all of the things that we have to buy. We're buying moving boxes. If you have any recommendations for how I can save money on any of these items, I would love to know. I even looked for second-hand boxes and they were pretty much the same price as the ones that I found online, £1 per box. I won't buy all 100, I'll probably buy these in dribs and drabs as needed. I'm expecting we might need 100 boxes, but who knows, it could be a lot less because I have done a massive declutter. The times before that I've moved house with my ex, we've had an entire length of the house, floor to ceiling with boxes. That all needed to be moved. And in the house, he never did a declutter. I was a bit of a hoarder as well, and I only did partial declutters. And now I've got so ruthless with my decluttering. I have a fraction of the amount of stuff to move that I used to. And the kids have also had a massive declutter. My kids used to be massive hoarders. And when they were younger, they had all of their little baby toys and all that kind of stuff, which takes up a lot of room when you've got small children. And now they're teenagers. They don't have half the amount of stuff that they did, which is fantastic. So this move will be way easier than any other move we've had. So moving boxes could be less, could be more, probably not more. We have to buy a washing machine. I'm just going to buy a bog standard, cheapest washing machine I can buy. Don't need any of the frills and fancy things, never use them anyway, so why should I spend more than I have to? Same with the fridge freezer. I'm actually in two minds with the fridge freezer. This is the cheapest fridge freezer that I could buy, £250. But we're in two minds at the moment because at the moment we have a fridge freezer, which is a very small size, integrated, and we also have a standalone beer fridge. But we use that beer fridge not for beer, but for other things because I make a lot of my food in advance, batches, so I have a lot of my fridge filled up with food. So the kids use this other fridge for their stuff, and we only go shopping once a week, really. So because that small fridge takes up a little bit of space anyway, we're thinking of maybe having an American fridge freezer, putting it all into one unit, and the space where the fridge freezer would have gone in the kitchen, we're thinking of putting a storage unit in there, maybe freeing up some of the furniture allocated to this massive big unit that I've got, maybe putting all that in the standalone unit in the kitchen. So might be doing a little bit of jigging around. So this might increase from 250 to probably about £400 if we buy an American fridge freezer. We have to buy a new bed. At the moment we've got a king size bed and it doesn't fit in our new bedroom. So we're thinking of buying a small double bed, an ottoman bed, so it's got storage space underneath, £289, and with that we'll have to buy another mattress as well that fits on top. So I'm allocating £285 to that. We're actually going to be buying two types of sheds, but the first one is in the first column. The first column is urgent, the second column is buy later. So at the moment we're going through all of the urgent things that we'll probably have to buy before we move in or immediately after moving in. And hopefully we'll have some overlap. We'll be able to move into the house before we've sold the current house. So hopefully that'll give us some wiggle room to get furniture ordered and built. So that will save us a lot of stress because we do still have a lot of camping gear in the current loft. The loft in the new house isn't floored at all. We might put a couple of floorboards in later, but at the moment we just want to store all of that camping gear in a shed. So we're probably going to buy a shed and transfer all that stuff over there. It'll be easier to access in a shed. So I'm allocating £480 for a shed. Blinds. I know I could probably save money on blinds, and this is a rough estimate. I've actually got no idea how much the blinds are going to cost. We need 6 blinds in the house. One of them is for massive bay windows. There's these beautiful bay windows at the front of the house. They are really wide and really, really tall. It's one of the old-fashioned terraced houses. We've got really high ceilings, which I absolutely love, but it makes things more expensive because your blinds are probably going to be higher, taller and wider. So the 6 blinds, one of them is a massive blind space. That big blind space is probably going to be chopped up into, I don't know, 6 different sections. So it could be potentially 12 blinds and not 6 blinds, or 11 blinds and not 6. So I'm not sure yet. I've put a rough estimate of £500. I know we could probably do this ourselves, but I'm not a handy person at all. I tried to watch a YouTube video on how to cut a blind and measure a blind, and I still couldn't figure it out. I just thought I probably don't have the tools. I'm probably going to mess this up. I'll probably buy a blind and I'll probably won't be able to do it. I'm actually scared to drill through holes in walls. I know that sounds stupid, but I don't know what's behind those walls. I've seen handymen do these over the years. I've had water coming out of pipes that they've drilled into. I've seen people give themselves electrical shocks, and these are supposed to be professional. So I think, well, if they can't do it, how am I supposed to do it? So I don't have any confidence in myself, although I probably technically could drill a hole in a wall. I'm quite likely to mess it up because I don't have any DIY skills whatsoever. So I'm thinking of just hiring somebody to come and put the blinds in and saving all of that hassle. Wish I was better at it, but I'm not, and I'm probably not going to acquire the skills before moving, and I'd probably end up messing up the whole wall, and that would cost a lot more money. So I'm just going to pay someone to do the blinds. Although I did find a front door blind that I could probably put up myself, so I'll probably get that one for the front door. Then we'll need a few curtains. We'll need 3 lots of curtains, so that we are going to, my partner's stepdad is probably going to put those up for us, thankfully, but I don't think he can do blinds. So I think he can do curtain poles. So we're going to buy 3 curtain poles, £35, and 3 lots of curtains, £120. Then my son is moving from a large double bedroom into a very small, skinny bedroom, and not much fits apart from a bed. So he needs space for a desk. So we're going to have to get rid of his bed and pretty much all of his furniture, which is annoying, but it is the way when you move house. And we're going to buy him a cabin bed, so I've allocated £230 for that. He will need a drawer set as well, because at the moment he's got a wardrobe which won't fit in his bedroom, but he doesn't really use it. Nobody really likes hanging clothes. My kids don't like hanging clothes, so my son wants a drawer set for his clothes, and my daughter wants a drawer shelf unit for all of her art gear, so £65 for that. I'm going to buy them both some skinny shelves, like a little bookcase to put things on, £40 each, £80 in total. Then in mine and my partner's bedroom, we are going to have to buy new wardrobes, because we do have wardrobes here, but they are absolutely humongous and there's no way we could move them. So they're similar to built-in wardrobes because they're so big. So we're leaving the wardrobes here. I'm going to have to buy new wardrobes. So 2 single wardrobes, because it's a strange shape bedroom, and I don't think we would get a double wardrobe to fit in anywhere. So we're going to buy 2 singles. That gives us flexibility to move things around in the room as well. So £458 for 2 single wardrobes. I'm also going to buy my daughter a new mattress, £110 when we move. Then we are going to buy a smoke alarm. There's no smoke alarm fitted in the house, so 2 smoke alarms, £14. Although I hope that's easy to fit, because I don't really want to pay somebody to do that as well. Then for the bedroom, because at the moment I've only got 1 mirror, and that is on the wardrobe, so that'll be staying here. So I need to buy a full-length mirror. But I found this mirror and it's got drawers. Added into it. It's also got all of these shelves. It's perfect for women. You can put all of your jewellery, makeup, everything in there. It's got mirror inside as well. So you can stand up and use that mirror, full-length mirror, move it where you want in the bedroom, which is fantastic. So £69, can't go wrong with that. Carbon monoxide detector, I don't know where, I used to have one, don't know where it's gone, £23. Bedside cabinet for mine and my partner's bedroom. We'll only need 1, because I don't think we're going to fit more than 1 in the bedroom, because it's very tight, £42. We do have bedside cabinets already, but they are broken, falling to bits, so might as well get one that kind of matches the wardrobes. Then we will need a step ladder, because everything is really tall in the new house, £51. Then moving on to stuff that we can buy later that's not as urgent. We've got the kitchen cabinet tall. We've not allocated any money to that because I'm not sure whether we actually need it. Whether or not we buy that large fridge freezer, then we'll probably need to buy one of these kitchen cabinet talls. So that will be an extra £200 on everything we're spending probably. We're going to buy an outdoor bin storage for the front of the house, because there's no way to access the back of the house from the front. So we're going to store the bins at the front of the house and store them in one of these locations, and hopefully we can also put parcels in there as well. I just thought I could be showing you some of the other things if they're interesting. So I thought this is the double bed that we thought we would get. So it's a nice kind of wooden thing, but it also lifts up like this, providing storage inside as well, which is perfect. The cabin bed is just a bog standard cheap one. He's got his desk already, so it can probably put his desk inside there that he's already got. The drawers are just bog standard basic cheap drawers. This is what the wardrobes look like. They're nice wooden wardrobes, and you've still got your 3 drawers there, which makes it much easier to store things inside. I don't hang much stuff up. I've got a lot of stuff folded. I've got one of these hanging shelving units, so I'll keep that and put that in here as well. And I'll probably put things on top of it as well, because at the moment I've got one that goes pretty much up to the top of the room, so I'm sure this is a smaller space than that. Moving on to this summer house. We thought we would get a summer house, and the reason for this is to put my daughter's drum kit in there, and it just provides an extra little space. So we thought we would have one of these summer houses. That one's more expensive than the other one. So this one, which is £612, or this one, which is £759. So in there we'll probably have a very small 2-seater sofa that we've got, the drum kit, and a TV unit and a TV. So we're hoping to get this wired in, have a little heater in there, have electricity, internet, and hopefully use this for an extra lounge, an extra space where my kids can bring their friends over. They can have their little den out here, have a bit of privacy. They can have sleepovers with their friends out here, and it's just an extra little space when you've got 2 teenagers, 4 people in the house who stay up quite late and they all need their own space. I've allocated £30 to loft boards, just a couple of things. We're just going to put some sentimental boxes up there. We don't have many. We only have a couple per person, if that. So there's probably about 6 or 8 boxes going up there with sentimental stuff, and that is that. Nothing else will be going up the loft. Maybe the Christmas decorations, of which we don't have many, and that's it. We're not going to be going up and down the loft all the time like we do in this house, because it is a pain. In this house we don't have a shed, don't have a garage. This is the only place to store things, and nobody likes going up the loft. The kitchen is so small that we were probably going to need some inbuilt bin inside a cupboard. So we thought we would do this, have a very small bin, take it out a few times a week outside, and get rid of our large bin that we've got at the moment. Also annoyingly, even though the house has had a full renovation, they didn't put in any extractor fans. So we're going to have to put in a kitchen extractor fan, probably not a hood because it's right next to a window. So we probably won't put it in, won't need a hood. We'll probably just put one on the wall. And again with the bathroom does need an extractor fan, so not only having to buy this but also to pay to somebody to install it as well. So I've allocated 350, 322. That's what Google told me it would cost for the fitting. Then it's got a hallway, so we will have a console table. At the moment I've got a radiator cover which serves as a console table, but I won't have that in the new house, so I'll have this, and that's a bit of extra storage on there as well. £45, can't go wrong. At the moment the kitchen is very skinny kitchen, and it's got a door which opens into the kitchen which blocks off either the fridge, freezer or the cupboard space, and I know that's going to get extremely annoying and it's not going to be feasible. So we are going to put in some folding doors into the kitchen, and hopefully that will make things a lot easier. And when we do the loft and put some boards up there, we're probably going to install a loft ladder and maybe get somebody to fit this. So I've allocated £80. Later on we're going to be putting in a wood burner and having that fitted. There is a chimney in the house, which is fantastic. We know where we can get free wood, so this is going to save us a fortune on our heating bills in the winter. So I've allocated £1,500 for that. Also, it's a very open plan downstairs in the house, which is absolutely lovely half of the time, and the other half of the time I really like a very cozy little lounge area. In the evening I like to close the door on the lounge and keep the heat trapped in. I just have this thing about this having a really nice cozy space and not having to heat the whole house. So I allocated £1,000 for getting a room divider, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, why not just put some like folding doors, some bifolding doors in that space, and that would save money, and also it would mean that you don't need to completely block off the whole room. You can still have it as a free-flowing open plan downstairs space when you want it, and then you can close these doors when you don't want it. So I don't know how much it would cost to have bifolds across the entire entrance to the lounge from the dining room, but I'll leave it at £1,000 for now and we'll see how it goes. Although the house is beautiful at the moment, all the walls are white, it's had a complete renovation, I think it would be really nice to put some paint on the walls, some colour, so I've allocated £200 for that. So here's the totals. So the total moving costs is £3,200. This is before we get into the house and before we start having to buy things for the house. The urgent not new house items are going to be 3,400, so I'll probably have to spend this money initially, spend the 3 grand initially, and then 1,500 later. So that brings the total of the moving costs now to 6,600. So we'll be spending about 3,000 each now. And then the grand total is £8,000 for everything. So that means we'll both be spending about £4,000 on the total house move each. And this will hopefully get the house completely how we want it, and then we'll be just able to leave it alone. So 4 grand each. I think that is very reasonable considering I had allocated 6,500 plus the original 2,100. So that's 8,600 that I had allocated to getting the house into a livable state. But what I actually think I'm going to spend is just over 4,000. So I've managed to halve my moving costs, which is fantastic because I'm still going to leave this money here for home improvements. I'm going to leave it in the bank. I'm going to leave it allocated to home improvements, maybe for a year or so. I'll see what crops up. I'm also going to be allocating £10,000 to my home emergency fund as well. So this will leave more money in the bank. I'll be able to make more interest on that savings. So this is fantastic news. So what did you think of my moving costs? Do you have any suggestions for me for saving money? How much have you spent on buying and selling houses? Are you budgeting this in when you're thinking about downsizing in the future? Did you end up with a lot less than you thought you were going to have? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss out on my future content. I aim to publish at least 1 video a week, 9 AM on Mondays UK time. When I have more time, I'll probably go up to 2 videos a week, and I've got so many great ideas for content. So if you've got any content that you'd like to see from me, any questions you'd like to ask, leave them below and I'll make a video on it. Have an amazing week. Take care. Bye bye.